All right, I'll grab a few balls in case we need them, but just to recap.
Yep. All right, so what we discovered with you today is, first of all, kind of what was going on with the issues was that you tended to get your low point a little too close to the ball, and that kind of engages the club with the ground maybe a little bit early, and that makes it a little bit difficult to control spin and ball speed. Right. So sometimes if you're on firm ground, that club will kind of bounce into the ball almost, right? Or you'll just get kind of good trajectory shots, but they're just coming out with no spin, because you're not catching the ball right on the club. You're not creating that friction, first of all. And so what we found out what was happening, what Hack Motion told us, is if you just go ahead and grip the club. So what we found out with our data was that you tended to deliver the club a little bit with too much extension in your lead wrist, which is that way, and then too much rotation in the lead wrist, which is that way. And so what happens there is you would kind of dig it into the ground too early, right? And that was something that you really couldn't even feel necessarily before we discovered that with the Hack Motion, right? But it was, you know, again, being able to kind of look under the hood, we could see that, right, which was really helpful. Your thought for why you did that, which I thought was really interesting, you were trying to not decelerate, right? So basically what we discovered is, at least the main thing, and then I'll kind of want to hear your thoughts on this too, but kind of the external feel that you had, that we were able to create better contact and repeatability, was go ahead and set up again for me. So basically what we did was we moved the ball pretty far back in your stance from where we started, right?
Here to here.
And that instantly got the low point more forward. That created more spin because, again, the club's engaging with the ball better. And then the other thing that happened is we just kind of used your feeling, because you've played a lot of golf, the feeling of trying to hit a low draw, because you really got your club path left when you kind of dumped it and went across, right? So you were trying to kind of create spin by hitting a cut shot. The problem is you would hit the ground a little too early on a lot of them, right? And so you wouldn't actually create that spin very often. So when we told you to move the ball back in your stance and try to feel like you were hitting a low draw from the top, your wrist angles got instantly better. You weren't rotated as much, and you weren't extended as much at the bottom, which created better contact and more consistent ball speed, right? We got TrackMe, and we were able to see like the ball speed get more consistent and the spin rate go up a little bit, which usually creates, you know, a lot better control. So those are kind of the high points. But what about your thoughts on it?
The ball flight got a lot more consistent. I think, like, I started
Trajectory-wise.
Yeah, trajectory-wise. The ball flight was a lot more consistent with the trajectory. I even think the line was better. Versus before, and I think because I was doing that kind of down and across like that and rotating so much, I would shut it down and I'd hit some low left, and I'd occasionally open it up a little too much, kind of doing this and cut under it, and they'd be high right. So the trajectory, the height was really good. But also the direction, I think, saw more consistent. With that, like, they all matched. The ones I did it and it felt really good. Matched it. I also like the Hack because it kind of put, like, it told me when I was doing it, so you could be like, hey, that one you rotated a lot, that one you didn't. So it allowed me to really associate the feel with the swing with when I was and wasn't doing it, which is huge, because it's not always just in the ball. Like, they allowed me to kind of just put some feel with the numbers,
for sure,
which I think helped me kind of like, okay, this is what I need to be feeling versus what I am feeling.
So let's have you hit one more.
All right.
And on a good one. So you're gonna have the ball a little more back in your stance. Right side a little higher, and you're just gonna feel like you're hitting a low draw. Very nice.
Really good.
Good job.
All right.